everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and if you had a survey in the state of California and you asked people if they were allowed to own a 50 cal, you're probably going to get a lot of no answers. But today I want to talk about how yes, you can own a 50 cal in the state of California, just maybe not what you're thinking about. So let's get started. Now, I want to start off by saying that I am not a lawyer and this should not be considered legal advice. If you need actual legal advice, please contact a competent lawyer that can help you out. This is simply my opinion based off of the research that I have done on the topic. Now, I think when you go around California and you ask people if 50 caliber firearms are legal, I think that a lot of people's minds automatically go to that classic image of a 50 BMG cartridge. And I think that the term 50 cal and 50 BMG tend to get mashed together and confused a lot of times, because in California, the 50 BMG is highly regulated. In most circumstances, the 50 BMG is illegal to the general public. Most of the time, it's going to be something that's going to be law enforcement only, or somebody that has some type of special permit in order to have one. Somebody that works for the movies or law enforcement, again, something like that. You need to have some type of special permit in order to have a 50 BMG rifle or even 50 BMG cartridges, things like that. Okay, so the 50 BMG, for all intents and purposes, is going to be illegal to the general public in the state of California. But that doesn't mean that 50 cal is illegal in California. As a matter of fact, there are several different 50 cal and even larger projectiles that you can get currently that are legal in the state of California. Let's talk about a few of them. First, you have the 50 Beowulf. Okay, the 50 Beowulf is a 50 caliber projectile. It's essentially a half-an-inch projectile that's shot out of a standard AR-15 platform rifle. So if you have a rifle that is already California compliant, okay, it's got all the standard parts that you need, you already own it, it's compliant, maybe it's got a fin grip or a mag lock or something like that, and you convert that to shoot a 50 Beowulf, then that is going to be perfectly legal. That shoots a 50 caliber projectile, and that is legal in California from everything that I've read. Let's talk about a couple other things that are legal in California that might be 50 caliber as well. Let's talk about the 500 Smith & Wesson, which is a very popular cartridge. Well, guess what? That's a 50 caliber as well. Shot through a handgun, typically a revolver, a large revolver. It's a pretty big cartridge, but that is legal as well. Then think about the 50 AE or 50 Action Express, also 50 caliber and legal to shoot in California. So it's not necessarily that something that's 50 caliber is illegal, it's that 50 BMG has been specified illegal. As a matter of fact, if you go to the California Department of Justice website and you search 50 cal, the first thing that comes up is frequently asked questions about 50 BMG, and it tells you exactly what it is about 50 BMG that's specifically banned, for the most part, right? So it'll actually go through a list of the length and the width and the diameter of the cartridge and the neck and all that stuff, and what makes it a 50 BMG and what sets it in that category of 50 BMG and so forth. So it actually gives you specific measurements. If you were to change those measurements to make it longer, bigger, shorter, neck down, or change the diameter of certain features of it, then it's no longer a 50 BMG. It's just a different 50 cal. Okay, so 50 cal, 50 BMG, not the same thing. A 50 cal is 0.510, so they actually have the measurement of a 50 cal or a 50 BMG being 0.510, even covering 0.511 as their stats for what would be considered a 50 BMG. A 50 Beowulf, for instance, has a case head that is very similar to like a 7.62 by 3.9, so it's much different than you would see for a 50 BMG, which has a very large case head on it where the primer is located. So again, it really comes down to that. Is it classified a 50 BMG or is it just classified a 50 cal? I mean, let's also think about shotguns, right? If you have a 12 gauge shotgun that has a rifled barrel, it shoots a huge projectile or even just a 12 gauge slug. Because one argument that I've seen is people say that anything that's over a 50 caliber is going to be considered a cannon in the state of California. Well, a 12 gauge slug is larger than a 50 caliber projectile. You got a 1 ounce 12 gauge slug. It's a pretty big slug, and it's not considered a cannon. It's considered a shotgun, and it's considered a slug or a projectile, and so forth. So yeah, there's 12 gauge. You have your 50 AE, your 50 Beowulf, and there's other calibers that are coming out as well that are larger than 50 caliber that you can shoot in the state of California. And so people are there are people out there that are realizing that you can kind of work around the whole 50 BMG thing in order to get something that's larger and more powerful in that state and still be able to own it legally, at least for the time being, until Gavin Newsom, decides to get his grubby hands on it. Nonetheless, there are 50 calibers that are still legal in the state. Now, this whole topic came up because I had a couple friends from California that were vacationing in Utah. They decided to stop through Vegas on their way back, so we got together at Range 702. It's a very popular range. It's kind of near the Strip, and you can rent all sorts of stuff. I mean, you could shoot pretty much everything. They decided to get 5 rounds of 50 BMG and shoot that while they were there. And afterwards, I mean, it was so exciting, so much fun. I mean, anytime you get a chance to shoot 50 BMG, it's a blast. So if you ever do come to Vegas, check out Range 702. You head over there and you can get and see all the cool stuff that you can actually use before you head back, behind enemy lines. And so afterwards, we're all out there laughing and talking about how awesome it was and so forth. And we're talking to the guys that work at Range 702, and the topic of 50 cal came up, and we started talking about all these different calibers that were available and new things that are being developed and so forth. And it really became a big topic because there were so many people from California that were visiting Vegas that were going inside the shop and thinking anything that was half an inch or bigger was illegal in state, and that just wasn't the fact. So I thought, it'd be fun to do a video about this and let people know that there are calibers that are available to you out there that are fairly powerful and also pretty big in the state of California. You just can't have a 50 BMG unless you are one of these special people. So again, it's just, this is just a short video to kind of touch on the topic. If you guys have any more information on the topic or you want to add something to the conversation, I always encourage people to go down to the comment section and put your knowledge there, because people do go down there, they read it, I read it, and you can see what people are saying about it. So if you have any more information about this particular topic, leave a comment in the comment section and reply to comments. If you see somebody that's saying something that maybe you have different information about, start a different thread within their comment. I think it's a great way for us to learn more from each other. So again, just an interesting topic in the state of California, and hopefully this helps some people understand that there are some pretty cool things out there that you can still get. Anyway, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, hit that little bell notification so you know when the next video is coming out. Have a great day.